Hi everyone, in this Microsoft Ads tutorial, I'm going to be giving you 4 tips on how to go live with a Microsoft campaign smoothly. And if you stay all the way to the end, I'm going to be giving a few extra optimization tips and tricks. All right, so we can just jump right in. So the first tip is really going to be importing your data from Google Ads into Microsoft efficiently and effectively, right? So if you have a campaign in Google Ads and you have a lot of great data, you're going to want to leverage this information into Microsoft as quickly and as smoothly as possible. So go into Microsoft Ads and hit import, and then make sure you're selecting import from Google Ads. The easiest way to do this, right, is once you click that, you're going to get this screen. You're going to want to sign in to your Google Ads campaign. It's via an API integration, right? So you can actually just schedule an auto import, but I recommend usually doing one import initially because an auto import can basically trigger a lot of changes to your Microsoft campaigns that you don't necessarily want, right? Ultimately, Microsoft and Google, while they have the same foundational blocks, the users interact very differently, right? So if you're doing negative keywords in Google Ads, you might want different negative keywords in Microsoft, right? Again, while you might start off with parity, they're going to be a little bit different. It's almost like any platform nuance, right? So I would select now and then hit save, and then go to just set schedule, and then it will just say now. And then you're going to want to hit advanced import right here, because then that's going to give you a lot more options. So, if you only want to import one specific campaign, you can select here and then select the campaigns that matter, right? So if you want to start off with your highest performing campaign, usually what I recommend, you're going to hit the campaign right there, and then you're just going to hit next. Okay, and so now you're going to have to go through all of these sections and just, I recommend going through this with a fine-tuned comb, right? You're going to want to make sure that the data that's coming through is accurate, right? So we have account level tracking for our click fraud vendor. That might not be the same. Just run through all of these, make sure that it's the proper UET tag that's going to be associated to this campaign. Um, Other options, for the most part, these first, update bid strategies, they're all going to be kind of, just leave them checked. But you're going to want to go through this section, where you go into landing page URLs, campaign options. And again, every campaign is different, but I highly recommend that you're going to run through all of these and just make sure that, data is getting pulled in that you want, and then data that you don't want getting pulled in is left in Google Ads, right? So just go through this, check the boxes, and then you're going to schedule that import. Okay, so once the import is scheduled and you've decided to bring it in really on a manual basis, and you've selected the specific campaigns and the specific data that you want from that campaign coming into Google, the second big tip is really going to be adjusting your bid strategy, right? So go into settings. If you have a campaign that's in Google that's been running for quite some time, chances are you're leveraging automated bidding, right? So target CPA, right? Target conversion value, target ROAS, something like that, right? In Microsoft, you're not going to want to leverage the automation from the get-go, right? In the similar way in Google Ads, you're not going to go automated when you have 0 conversions, right? So you're going to bring this back down to ECPC, enhanced cost per click, and you're going to manually bid on this campaign until you have 30 conversions in 30 days. And then from there, when you have a CPA that you like, that you feel like is effective, their metrics are looking strong, then you can flip it to an automated bid strategy where it does a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the manual control for you, right? And so it's really important that you check your bid strategy once you import, because a lot of times this is something people forget. They just go live and then their campaign is super wonky, right? It's not spending one day, then it's overbidding for a random keyword, right? It doesn't really have any direction. So just make sure that you're going through this campaign and adjusting the bid strategy. So the next tip is going to be going into your keywords, and really just making sure that you have no negative keyword conflicts. So this is one of the great tools from Microsoft, is that you can actually check for negative keyword conflicts, and they will tell you the specific negative keyword that is making sure that a specific keyword is not serving, right? So I don't have any right now, but you can go into the delivery section and just filter this really quickly by eligible or by negative keyword conflict, and then just go into your negative keyword. So you just hover right here and it'll tell you, hey, this isn't serving for whatever reason, right? So this specific keyword has a low search volume, right? So, and it's telling us why and what to do, but it also tells us our quality score and a few other metrics, right? So just find where it says negative keyword conflict, hover, it'll tell you the change you need to make, right? Another great way to monitor this is to go into your reports, and you can actually create a negative keyword report. I can do another video on that. It's really straightforward, but just make sure there are no major conflicts with your keywords and then your negative keywords. Okay, so the next tip is really going to be checking your UTM parameters, right? So go into settings again, and you're going to make sure that your UTM parameters are actually showing Bing and not Google, right? So when we go into the final URL suffix, right here, our UTM source is going to say Bing. We just want to make sure that that's not Google, right? We don't want Google in your third-party analytics platform, or there's Google Analytics or something else. You don't want Google getting credit for Bing conversions, right? So to get the tracking right is really important. It's a really quick tip, really, but something that a lot of people forget to do right off the bat. And then the final tip is do not forget about conversion tracking, right? So go to tools and go to conversion goals, and just ensure that you have the proper tracking connected to your conversion goal, right? So in this instance, it's a landing page. Make sure that it says tracking status and that it is actually recording conversions. If you have any questions about this, just make sure you're testing your goal on your landing page. Also, right, with conversion goals comes the UET tag. So also go into your UET tag and just make sure that your UET tag is also active, right? So Microsoft actually does a really great job at telling you whether your UET tags or even your conversion goals are live, and then you can track it using a simple Chrome extension, right? So just go into the Chrome, extension library and download the UET tag helper, and it can really help. It really helps distinguish what is working, what is not working, what's an old tag, and then also give you directions on what changes to make, right? So just go through and QA your UET tag, QA your conversion goal, just to ensure that everything is rocking and rolling, right? You don't want to be in a situation where you're going live and you have an old UET tag, your conversion goal isn't firing correctly, right? It's important to kind of make sure all of your conversion goals and UET tags are working properly. So really quickly, I wanted to talk about the extra tip. It's more of an optimization, right? So when we go into our campaigns, don't forget, like I mentioned earlier, that your campaigns in Microsoft is going to interact very differently than your campaigns in Google. So let's just look at yesterday's performance, right? So we spent about $33, 16 clicks, and an average CPC of $2 and one conversion, right? So let's filter this to CTR, and let's filter our clicks to conversion rate, right? So we're seeing strong conversion rate, we're seeing a CTR that's a little bit lower, and you're seeing a CPC that's lower, right? With Microsoft, the traffic is cheaper, right? So you can get a lot more, right? A lot more clicks, a lot more users to your site. But with the cheaper traffic, often comes a level of lower quality traffic, right? So you have to be mindful. You're trading in a cost, you're trading in lower volume for higher volume, but not all of that volume that you're getting is going to be good, right? But understand that your CTR, your CPC, and your conversion rate is going to be about anywhere but between 10% to even 30% lower than Google. Because if we look at our performance yesterday in Google, let's just filter this by the same thing, right? Obviously, we spent more in Google, but let's look at our CPCs, let's look at our CTR, let's look at our conversion rate. Okay, so as you can see, our conversion rate is double. Our CTR is, 10x, right? 12%, but our CPC is relatively the same, right? So when we're looking, our CPC is a little bit lower, like I said, 211 in Microsoft and Google's 284. But with the quality and the automation and the data, we're seeing a lot better performance from Google so far, right? Don't forget that, with Google and with historical data, you can do a lot more. Whereas with Microsoft, like this is a really young campaign, and so just understand like the nuance between those campaigns. Don't be nervous about, oh man, my CTR is so much lower, my conversion rate is so much lower, within the first few weeks. And also expect your CTR and your conversion rate to always be a little bit lower than Google Ads. But if you start to see your CPC climb over Google, I would be a little bit nervous, right? I would check into the keywords, check into the data to see really why am I spending more on Microsoft than I am in Google and still seeing lower CTRs or lower conversion rates, right? So just look at these numbers, look at these KPIs, and really understand how to optimize them differently and really the difference in the traffic overall. So yeah, that's our Microsoft Ads tutorial. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you on the next one.